Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be a little bit more of like a ranty style video. Just kind of like a brief grading of all the head coaching hires this season. And I just want to let you know, I want to fill you guys in on what I think of all of the hires this season. And I'm not going to be doing coordinators, so subscribe if you're new, so that this video can be the one that pushes me to 50 subs. First, the Chargers. I give them a B+. I think that they should have hired an offensive-minded guy and a play caller, not necessarily a defensive-minded guy. I think that his offensive coordinator hire is very boring. Joe Lombardi, I think he's a quarterback coach for the Saints. When he was with the Lions, people were saying that his offensive style was very predictable, and I don't see that necessarily changing anytime soon. So, a little bit disappointed in that hire. Not a great play caller, I guess. And, my second point, one of my points is going to be about how, when you hire a defensive-minded guy, often their offensive coordinators get taken for their, next head coaching job. But I don't think that's going to happen with Lombardi since, I just don't think he's a great coach. And, as long as Brandon Staley takes Herbert game to another level, I guess it's worth it. If he does that, that's all you're hiring him for, as well as to make the playoffs, of course. But Justin Herbert's your guy. You need to be committed to him, and hopefully it works out. I'm a big fan of the team. So next, Eagles. I give them a C-, but that might be lower now that I've seen his press conference. If you watch his press conference is just weird and sad, and you can tell he's nervous and everything, but it's a really bad press conference. And obviously this seems like a hire that will cater to Carson Wentz, not necessarily Jalen Hurts. And I think that Jalen Hurts should be their guy for a long time. Regardless of how good Carson Wentz is, he's younger, he's cheaper. He showed many flashes of all pro potential last year, and I don't see why they would want to move on from him that quickly. I don't even think that Sirianni was, the top candidate within the Colts. So, why would the Eagles hire a guy who's never been a play caller? He's inexperienced, he's young. I guess I don't really understand the hire at all. And, my last point is that I think the Eagles are now the Texans of the NFC. Not a good franchise, bad hires, etc., etc., etc. I thought his press conference was pathetic, honestly. And it's very strange why they are sticking with him. It's kind of weird to me. The Falcons, I'm going to give them a C. I think that Arthur Smith is still very unproven. He's risen his way up the ranks in Tennessee, but he only been a play caller for them for like 2 years. And his passing schemes with Tannehill revolved around play action with Derrick Henry, and I guess I don't understand how this is going to translate to a Falcons team that really doesn't have much of a running game at all. So, his passing schemes were elementary, and I see him having a hard time gathering respect in the locker room just because of his lack of success, especially in the postseason. He made that run last year with Tennessee, but obviously, Derrick Henry's run game got shut down against the Ravens, and not a huge fan. Now the Jaguars, I'm gonna give them B, because the more time that goes by, I think I have a little bit more respect for this hire. I think he could do a good job with Trevor Lawrence. And, while I think that there were better options, I think he was a pretty decent option, especially, that he wants to be there. He wasn't going to take a job because he's very comfortable at his, analyst role at Fox. So it sounds like he's committed, but I do think he's going to have a hard time losing, which they probably will for a few years, That's part of the reason he quit at Ohio State and previous places, I guess, because of mental health type of stuff. And also physical health, so I just don't know. He's a pretty old guy. And what I want to know is why they didn't go after Eric Bieniemy. He's still sitting there on the market. No one's really, no one's offered him a job. I just don't understand why not. He's a Super Bowl caliber offensive coordinator, and while, him and Andy Reid call the plays together. I mean, his schemes are the ones that are bringing the Chiefs to where they are now. So I think that's kind of a weird point. Urban Meyer doesn't really have any experience in the NFL, so I'm just not sure about it. Jets, I'm gonna give him an A. I think he's a good, well-liked rah-rah type of coach who definitely understands how to gain respect from the locker room, and I also have respect for the Jets for hiring a person of color. I mean, there's only one or two people of color that are head coaches in the NFL now, and I think Robert Saleh is gonna do a really good job with the Jets. I thought it was gonna, I think it's gonna end up being surprising bait to land Deshaun Watson, who listed him and Bieniemy as his top 2 coaching candidates when he was with the Texans. Well, he still is with the Texans, but although I just don't understand why Deshaun Watson would end up going to a team that's similar to the Texans, in that they're a very poorly run franchise, and I'm just not sure exactly what they're gonna end up doing with Saleh and Watson. If he ends up coming there, I don't think they're gonna really do that much. I mean, I think he's gonna be the Texans, but in the NFC maybe, pardon me, they're still in the AFC, of course, but I'm just not sure if that's going to work out. I also figured that the Jets would go offensive, since they, are probably going to be getting a new quarterback this offseason, whether that's Watson or Wilson or Justin Fields. But I also think it's pretty incredible that, a couple of years ago he was on the hot seat with the 49ers, and now he's one of the most well-respected head coaching, in the NFL, or new head coaches in the NFL. I think that's a pretty good hire. Now the Lions, I'm going to give them a B. I don't think that this guy, Dan Campbell, was on anyone's radar. Saints tight ends coach, I believe. And I think he's probably going to stink his first couple of years, but they signed him to a 6-year contract, so they have to give him patience. And I'm just not sure exactly what he's going to do. I mean, his press conference is really weird. And he's not going to have Matthew Stafford, so maybe they draft a quarterback in the first round. I'm really not sure. I don't know how high in the first round they're going to be able to get there. Get with Stafford. Maybe that as high as like 7 or 8 or 9. I'm not sure. And I guess I'm just hoping that, their players can really rally behind him, because he seems like another rah-rah type of guy. He's not going to be calling plays. He's not going to be doing anything like that. He's just going to be kind of like a leader for that team. So I think that's kind of what they need. Patricia was the opposite of that. He was very cold. He thought he was Bill Belichick. And I also really like their offensive coordinator hire, Anthony Lynn, who I think is going to gel well with their new quarterback, as well as their young players. Maybe they re-sign Galladay. Maybe they draft Devontae Smith, something like that. But I think he's be a good OC for them. Now the Texans get an F 100,000,000 times. Not only did they not listen to Deshaun Watson in their GM or head coaching hire process, but you also wasted a ton of money on hiring a firm who they, just fired just because their ownership, Cal McNair and Jack Easterby, are totally weirdos, and why would anyone want to play for that organization? Not only David Culley is who they hired, by the way. Not only did they not get one of Watson's guys, but they also hired an old coach who was the passing game coach for Lamar Jackson, who the Ravens had like one of the worst passing attacks this season. I just don't understand why they would do that. He's old. He's 65. It's very strange, and I really feel bad for the people who are going to play for the Texans, because they are going to be the worst team in the league for a very long time, and they don't have any draft capital. They don't have any good players to build around anymore. They might get Tua or something like that. They might get draft picks, but none of that's guaranteed. And I really don't think that David Culley's going to last. I don't know why they did this. Obviously, he was on no one's radar because, he's on a long-term deal too. It just doesn't make any sense. No one else wanted him. It's very weird. It's very weird to me. And it's very apparent by the strange head coaching hire. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of ranty type of style. It's like a podcast style, but not really long. I didn't have that many topics to do. Also, let me know about any type of name change that you might be thinking about in the next couple of weeks or months. I'd really like to keep growing, and before I get 100 subscribers, hopefully, I'd like to change my name if that's something that I'm interested in doing. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'm very grateful for you tuning in. All right, thank you. Peace out.